evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Worldwide Nudecast. We are super excited to have you guys all here to hear about the story of the Dicey experience. First, we're going to go over to weather and hear from Mr. Mean Green. Tell us, Mr. Mean Green, what is happening over there in your area in the neck of the woods?
Well, when I wandered into this nudecast, I was rather surprised because I'm playing Clark Coldwater, a warlock, a reborn warlock, and excited to be here. Although I'm not sure about the nudecast.
Newscast, not a nudecast. News. It must be bad weather over there for you to hear nude over news. Definitely newscast. But we will pass it on over to our sportsman, Mr. Lazy Man Gamer.
Well, this might be news to some of you, but most of these are indeed recorded in the buff, at least for myself. Not going to speak for the rest of the news, but there's a reason why we only shoot from, waist up. Sports. My name is Lazy Man, and I play Jean Lafayette, the Harengon Rogue Ranger, who is looking forward to swindling some cultists and maybe getting some season tickets to their sports ball seats, in addition to forged documents.
Oh, nope. Definitely all still wearing our clothes while we're streaming this podcast for you and recording it. But we'll pass it on over. There seems to be an armed robbery over there, close to you, Mr. Stolen.
Well, I would go tackle him, but then that would be awkward since, the no clothes thing. So that's not going to happen. I don't need I don't need that kind of assault in my record. There's other things back there that we don't talk about. This is Stolen. I'm playing Crew Saipan, the naked warlock turtle, and he's just happy to be here.
Right. Well, we'll just. Meerkat, why are you naked where you're casting the news from?
Well, I'm not completely naked. I'm just wearing my chef's apron, so I best not turn around, otherwise you'll see a full moon.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Lucas Fenweir, the chef, and that's it.
That's it?
I don't know what job I had at the Nerdcast.
That's fair. I am baffled. Yep. Well, welcome back to a Dicey Experience, everybody, where we have a good time doing some improv before we start playing some D&D. As last time, our wonderful party, known as the Fates, left their good buddy Clark outside of a cave and just said, stay here. Then they walked into the cave and eventually came back out with a scythe, where they encountered inside said cave a death giant, almost leaving behind a poor creature who has his beautiful robot. And our guest is so infuriated that he almost got locked out that he is not here this evening. Actually, he is off on some training, so he won't be able to join us for the next few sessions, but that is no big deal. We're super excited to be able to continue forward with some stories for you guys. But we did get the chance to move forward a little bit. The story did continue that they did capture the scythe. They were able to trick the cult, and now they're going to take back the scythe to the real believers of the Raven Queen. Our party did make their way back to their rooms at the hotel, and are definitely just hanging out at Broken Latch, making their way to bed. Anything you guys want to do before it's time for rest, or y'all just want to head on into their long rest?
I'm all for taking a long rest. It's way past Crew's bedtime by the time we get back to the hotel.
Clark's like just looking at all the ragged, adventuring group and like, man, guess that was a tough day, as he's all clean and polished and still looking good.
It was something else, for sure. Evening sets in. The roof of the Broken Latch is tin roof. You guys just begin to hear some drizzling fall on top of the tin roof. Calming feeling. It's a nice white noise to kind of help you drift off to sleep. Suddenly a loud boom comes outside your window. On. Crack! You wake up to a bright light. You see lightning has flashed outside your window. Do you sleep with your window open or closed?
Closed. And If you recall, we ended last session with me clutching the bag of holding to my chest in terror that someone might steal it. So Sean is gonna pop
Right.
up real quick and reach his hand inside the bag of holding just to make sure everything's still there.
Yeah, everything seems to be accounted for. You breathe a little bit, and you notice that there's a small other strange light in the room. Besides that flash of light, it's a purplish color in nature. Look over, and standing by the window is the wonderful gentleman with the bowl cut. Just completely almost like a purple illusion, kind of like what you saw in Star Wars when R2-D2 presented Princess Leia, that blue color. Same kind of design, but it's more of a purple. It seems to be coming and projecting out of your sword. He is watching out of the window.
Well, this is awkward. There's really only one person who watches you when you sleep, and he usually brings gifts. So what you got for me?
No gifts this time, I'm afraid.
Coal?
Neither that either. Fortunate.
Ah, so you're just a pervert.
No, not watching you. Watching the outside. They're already here. They're coming for the scythe.
Who?
The children of the Raven Queen.
Ah, they're my buddies. We made a deal.
Yes, but also seeing that they would speak to you.
My what?
Your seer. I guess you've been calling him chef. The one who notices gods and can see them in action.
Ah, how did they know about this person?
Word travels fast. The guardians, they speak to each other. It's a small world up there.
You know what? Let's just do like a quick rewind real quick. Who are you?
Don't remember who I am.
John squints at the staticky illusion thing. You could be a lot of different people.
Ah, and who do you think I am?
I'm gonna say Tobin.
No.
Okay. Well, then I guess you're just gonna have to tell me.
Oh, really? We've been traveling together this long. You've got one of my artifacts as your sword. Promised to gather a bunch of my artifacts to bring me back to life, and you can't remember my name?
Oh, the person I totally lied to get off of Monkey Island.
Yes.
Is this scythe one of your things?
No.
I suppose you want me to backstab all of these ravens and make off into the night, risking my own life for some hologram thing?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, good, because that wasn't going to happen.
Good. That could have been a problem. we no, I don't want you to backstab. I would...
Front stab?
No stabbing of any sorts. Please, and thank you.
Kind of my specialty.
No. No. Just do your deal. I'm sure that they'll trade well, but I would advise waking your seer, and letting him know that they're coming to talk to him.
Okay, is this like a friendly chat? Like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Let's get some coffee sometime. Can we exchange numbers?
Seers appear very rarely.
Okay, let's do this, Mr. Mystical Man. People are here. Are they a danger to the cook?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good night.
What was that?
It's an expression from the overworld. I'm not sure where you're from. When someone is done talking to someone else and it's the middle of the night, we say things like, have a good night.
This is going to be a very strange partnership, isn't it?
Yes. For one of us.
I see. And you don't want to aid in this in any way? Another flash of lightning comes.
Aid in what?
In the conversation for your seer? No?
It's between him and... you said there's no animosity. I shouldn't be worried about him, so... If he wants to chat him up, then he can chat him up.
Very well. All right.
He's a world-famous cook. I'm sure people want his autograph all the time. Conversations with strangers come with the territory.
Very good. Okay. You're not concerned, then I guess I shouldn't be concerned. And he's gonna back into the sword.
Give me no reason to be concerned. John will lay back down in his bed and try to go back to sleep.
Great. Roll me a Constitution
Strange
check.
Man. 14.
14. Yeah, it takes you a minute, but you're able to start. Just drift off back to sleep before you hear a door.
Is it still, like, I roll over and look out the window. Is it still dark outside?
It's still dark. It's still storming. There's still flashes of light happening.
Just a point of of clarification, are we all in different rooms?
Yes.
John will grab his pillow and throw it at the door and say, "It's the bloody middle of the night! Come back at a decent hour."
No.
Well, at least give me a moment to make myself decent.
Very well. Yes. No nude casting. Would greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Jean will look out the window. Does he see anyone out there in the night?
Yeah. Roll me a perception check. Remember, it's dark, so get disadvantage because you don't have dark vision.
Okay, alright, I see how it is. What did you say? Perception?
Yep.
Which I'm looking... Oh, it's wisdom, okay. So 13 plus 4, 17.
Yes. A couple of flash of lightning comes up, and you see a couple of those cloaked figures that you've seen before. They're wearing their masks. They're kind of spread out in 3 different areas around. One's kind of behind a tree. One seems to be kind of sitting by a cart peeling an apple. Another one is over on a door stoop. He's got his hands on his head, hands kind of resting on his head, resting on his hands. Kind of like a 3-year-old that's kind of bummed that he's out in the rain in the middle of the night. But they're all wearing the same masks as before.
Okay. Jean's gonna pull out his chalk that goes to the shipwright and gonna draw a little circle and poke his head through.
Yeah. Okay. It is nighttime in here. There's a small candle that's lit, but it seems to be kind of going out. Yeah, the Goliath friend of yours from that shipwright. He's asleep. There's some drool coming out of his mouth, and it's kind of making its way down onto the floor. Doesn't seem to notice that you're coming into his office.
Excuse me.
Oh,
It's Jean.
what? Are you needing some repairs now?
No, I seem to be in a bit of a predicament. I'm not sure how this chalk works. Can I pop through and then sleep for a few hours and then pop back using the same chalk to where I was before? Or is this kind of a one-way thing?
Woken me in the middle of the night to ask about chalk.
Again, little urgent.
Kind of rubs his face. It lasts for about an hour. Then you'll be shot back to wherever you're drawing.
Okay, alright. So John will climb the rest of the way through with the bag of holding and just curl up on the floor and take a nap for an hour.
Okay, great. Eternity is a strange thing.
I don't like that.
It seems to last longer than expected. Also seems like it'll never end. Lucas finds himself standing on that line. When you look to the past, events that have transpired in your life and the helping hands that might have been behind. There's a moment where you're cooking food and there to be a small, just slight hand that pushes you in the right direction to add just the right amount of salt. First time. Rice, and it just makes it on point and perfect. We jot a note of what that amount of rice, right amount of salt is. Make that perfect. Another time where are playing with your friends in cornfields. Watch as balls are being thrown around and then see a familiar face of the Nilbog just patting the ball a little bit harder and knocking it off towards a goblin that needed some help. Later on, you find yourself seeing the joy and the pleasure of people around you enjoying some food that you've made. And though you did not know her at that time, your mistress sits next to you, smiling, enjoying the gift of pleasure that you're giving her that you aren't even realizing is happening. You turn your face towards the future. It's like a dark cloud crackling with possibilities of things you've never seen before. One in particular seems to be a 5-headed dragon rising from the darkness. And that's only because one of its servants seems to be a large kraken gathered. What is needed to bring the return of this guardian. Rain of fire and destruction falls upon the earth. Then you notice before you turn your head back, all the water is gone, not a drop left. Meaning that it seems to be left in control of this kraken. You hear a small whisper say, "That's the sea." Find yourself looking back towards the present, remembering the few interactions that seem to be sparking your interest recently, where you've seen a gentleman in tears after the death of his paladin, where you see another strange being having pulled Jean onto the edge of a boat, putting a cannonball on half. You see a small moment that you weren't quite there for, but you heard from a distance. From that moment when you peeked your head in with the Nilbog to look in to see what Jean was doing in that tent, a strange, raven-like, large being creature, white mask, seemed to be just messing slowly the brain of that giant. John was telling his story. What are you thinking in this moment as you stand on the line of eternity?
That it seems that I am here by the direction of the Nilbog and my goddess rather than what I thought was my skill and my choice. Someone's been pushing me in one direction or another, and makes me think, is cooking my passion, or have I just been manipulated to think that? And into the future, I don't quite understand what it's showing me or what I need to do to avoid it.
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, natural 20 for 23.
Please.
Beautiful. As you think about that last part, is there any way to avoid that future? You watch where you're standing at the present. You watch as that line seems to split into several different lines, almost forming like large branches of a tree. And then you're kind of realizing at this point that the one line you saw, like a high, thick possibility because it's one of the thickest lines. But it is not the only possibility of the future. With a natural 20, I'm also going to give you one more small piece of it.
The clarification, the most likely branch is the one where all the water is gone.
Where all the water is gone. You kind of see a moment where you're standing and watching as a giant kraken comes out, and then a giant crack happens in the world and it seems to suck all the water into the
Gotcha.
crack. And there's one other piece of information I've sent to you via Discord as well. Is that what you will? Natural 20 is a beautiful thing.
Okay.
You begin to kind of feel a shift and a shake in the space, or you're kind of in a moment to move out of it, right? Like you're kind of being woken up from your dream. And you hear a small thing, or do you see it? Can't quite remember as you're waking up. It says, some are given the gift to speak, others to see, some to listen. Then you're pulled out as you hear the door. Funny thing is, when you wake up, not your space, not the room you fell asleep in. It's a very dark, dim room, very dank. There's a thick oak door that is being knocked on, and to hear a small, soft voice say, "Are you awake? Sia? Sia, are you awake?"
I look around the room. Where am I?
Temple of the Raven Queen. The voice would like to speak to you.
Is there any, when I look around the room, is it just the door, or is there like windows or other ways in?
The room itself is like a 4-foot diameter room. It's kind of a rectangle shape, so it's not very large. Big enough for you kind of get a bed in there. There's a chamber pot, so needed. There's a window that kind of focuses outside, which you still hear the rain, and you kind of look out and you see that it's hitting the streets pretty hard. There's a large storm happening outside. You see a lit torch in the room. That's about it. Other than that, there's that thick door.
And when I look out the window, is it the town that we're in right now?
Yes. Yeah. You recognize it's spot that you guys have passed.
Can I open the window?
I mean, it's already wide open. It's just a 2-foot big window. Probably making it larger than it needs to be, but probably about 1.5 feet big. It's like a half circle type window. You know what I'm talking about? So it's high enough off the ground that like water's not going to flood in, but you could attempt to crawl out of it if you want to. But you also think you might find yourself in a cruise situation where your feet are stuck when like when you first met him at the beginning of this campaign.
I feel like we've been dealing with a lot of cults lately, and I feel like that I have been kidnapped or taken against my will for some reason. So I'm gonna try and make my way out of the window and escape the room.
Yeah. I want you to roll me a history or religion check before you.
Okay. History 20.
20. Okay. Yeah, in your clerical studies, you know of a voice being someone that almost serves almost kind of like a prophet, and they speak for the god, or the guardian, speak for a guardian in its place. Now, what you know as a guardian, what you've been taught all your life is a god, right? So they function as his voice, or their voice, her voice. They are typically one in every 50 or so years, so they live however long, let's say like an elf, the voice. It's the lifespan of that elf until that elf dies, another one after that elf dies. So you know that there is a strong connection to a guardian or to a god, which would be depicted as a voice.
Okay, so
You know that cults typically don't have any quote-unquote voices in their things. And when there is one that claims to be a voice in a cult, there's always another voice somewhere else that is actually true to what the guardian is. Come to find that as a cleric, you're able to be able to tell true voice from a false one.
okay, I'll stick my head out the window, and then I'll feel the rain hit me, and it'll jolt my memory that maybe I should see what this voice has to say. I'll turn around and try and open the big door on the other side of the room.
Yeah, you open it. It's a small halfling. She's got a large tray of like different types of food. There's like oatmeal and eggs and different types of soups and some bread. I didn't know what you liked, so I thought I'd bring you a little bit of everything. It's an honor to have you here, Asia. I know the voice is very excited to meet you. I've brought 6 different types of juices as well. I've got pineapple and mango and orange and
I'll pick up a piece of bread and some orange juice and start nibbling it. You saying, Sia? What are you talking about?
They say you're one of the few, one of the rare that are born that can see the movements of the guardians. And I just think it's just a really cool feature. And I know that when one pops up, usually the voices try to talk to them and communicate with them to just make sure they're true and aligned. And of course, as you know, guardians sometimes speak through their voices.
Well, let's go see this voice.
Very good. Let me lead the way. Would you like anything else? The oatmeal's still quite warm. It's what we're known for. And
Sure, yeah. I'll take the oatmeal as well.
Yeah. It's actually really good. Like you tend to doctor your oatmeal up, with the different fruits and sugars and different things. This is just bland oatmeal, and for some reason this is good.
I'll make an approving nod.
Wonderful. I was hoping in for the cooking competition, but I don't think I was going to be able to because I probably just want to go do the thing that you're here to do, huh?
You were... maybe I could see this being part of the competition, but oatmeal without anything maybe a bit too dull for the judges.
Right. I should find something new.
Oatmeal's a good choice, but keep at it. This is good, but more pizzazz.
But are you in the competition? Are you a judge?
I'm attending as a contestant.
I'm so excited. I'll have to see you tomorrow. And she just keeps talking about random, just continues this, just like you're like, why are we having this conversation? That conversation as you're walking down this hallway. It's very boring in here. The stonework is a dark gray. There's a lit torch every 15 feet. And you seem to be walking like it is a funny word, eternity, for forever. So finally, you guys have made your way down a spiral staircase. At the very bottom, points to what appears just to be a dark space and says, she's in here. She's this direction. I can't go any further.
I'll hand the empty bowl back to her and... what was your name?
Clarissa.
Clarissa. Well,
Yes.
I'm Lucas.
It's good to meet you.
To meet you, and hope that you improve your skills, and I'll look for you at the next competition.
Wonderful. Just look for the name explains it all. And yes. Well, have a good day. And she kind of begins to waddle off. What a wonderful man. He just loved my stories. Can't believe he'd listened to me for so long and didn't complain once. Walking up the stairs. What do you do, Lucas?
There's a door or something that she pointed to for...
No, like you're at the bottom of the staircase and she pointed to complete total darkness.
Oh. Yeah. Larissa. Yeah, darkness. I'll just start walking towards it.
Step in. It is cold. Shiver and chill to your bones. It's so sharp. It's like something is cutting into blade into bones. It's that deep, that cold. You wrap your apron around yourself to try to warm yourself up. Hand in your pockets. Breathe out. And you can see your breath come out and then it almost like turns to ice and then disappears. It feels a little bit like death in here. Eventually you travel on. And it doesn't matter what direction you see darkness. Travel back, you just see darkness. Bump into a chair in the middle of a room. It's large, made of stone. On it sits a kinku, about 4 feet tall. Has her hood over her face. The hood goes all the way down, and you kind of see her little claw feet at the bottom. It's like a cloak that she's wearing, kind of almost a Jedi robe that's almost covering her body. She sits there. Her little claw points at you, and she's, "I'm Princess."
Hi, Princess. I'm Lucas.
She wishes to speak to you. What makes you special? Why should Princess talk to you?
Well, and I kind of point back the way that I think I came from. I'm here for a cooking competition. Is this like some kind of, pre-test to the cooking?
No.
This has nothing to do with... At that point, the room kind of just flashes for a second, almost kind of expands, and you feel like your body pulls a little bit, and then slams back into place. Kind of just feel like you're stretched a little bit, like Wreck-a Raccoon when they were jumping through so many portals quickly in the Guardians of the Galaxy, trying to teleport to whatever planet they were trying to get to save their friends. Kind of just see your body pulled back and forth in that format. Kind of bend down and grab your knees and almost in an ache. And when you look back up, you see Princess. Her eyes are now visible. They've kind of turned to a solid black, and standing behind her is a large, stupid tall woman, like towers over you. You thought the giant was tall. This is much larger. Black. She bears a feathers just kind of going all the way up and down her body. A white mask, the shape of a raven, kind of leans forward a little bit. Head moves as she talks, but you notice that the voice comes from Princess, not from her.
So, a seer has been born. What do you think of my visage?
Overwhelming. And I look up as far as I can and start falling over.
You fear my presence. You know my role amongst the Guardians.
Are you one of the judges for the competition?
I judge where you go for the afterlife. A little bit different. Silly competition of play.
Why am I here?
It seemed you were on a mission for me, and because the other Guardians have agreed that I get to help you understand a little bit better what it means to be a seer. But you see that seers are very special. Not only can you just see what we do, help to share our stories, help others to know our plans, help them to understand us. Odd that your first connection was through pleasure, so it would seem you would seek to possibly represent the things of pleasure, the things that please us. See those things displeases us. Share that. Seer gets to be a little unique. See, a voice is unique because they get soul connection with one guardian. They get to connect with a guardian and hear our voice speak for us. And what they say happens. True. They're prophets. But a seer gets to be a little unique. They get to be more in tune with all of us. Not just one of us. You will need to be trained on how to interact with each of us, guardian, and channel our power through you in different ways. And if the breaker of the seas seeks to return, might behoove you get involved. Well, you know, if the breaker returns, we'll try to bring his master back. A destroyer! Lady Tiamat!
You travel with one, yes? One of the children of Bahamut?
You do?
Well, one of his dragon wards, anyways. Is there not one in your party that has a little dragon creature that works for him, a drake?
You mean Nameless?
I know not the name, or if it has a name or not, but a nameless would be a poor name.
Or any such creature.
I mean, Nameless is a small, flying creature. Nothing I see of him makes me think anything bad. You're telling me that this drake is gonna bring about the end of the world?
No. Tiamat, Bahamut, created the world. Then Tiamat was not pleased with it, so sought to destroy it. Bahamut's son created the Drake Wardens to stop her. In the process, he had to split himself in several artifacts, one of them being a sword, a crown, list of other things. Each of these wardens are given a gift, a break of their own, that they can serve with. They did stop Tiamat and the others that might bring destruction to our home, like the Breaker of the Sea. But now, it's his artifacts reunited. Be brought back. That would also help in this war. Preventing the return of any of her employ would be great as well.
You are telling me that a member of my crew is going to bring back Tiamat?
No, I am telling you that a member of your crew serves Sardior as a Drake Warden. He would seek to stop the return of Tiamat. At least I would hope. But you, I would also hope, with your gifts, would want to do the same. You not want to stop the destruction you saw? You did have the eternal dream, did you?
I mean, I saw a five-headed dragon, but obviously nobody wants the world to end. But why am I having this dream? And why? I don't understand. Why me?
Not everyone is chosen. Some gifts you're just born. The soul of... I hate you. I hate you guys so much. People have never played D&D and you haven't sent your DM a meme in the middle of one of his important speeches. Yeah, you get to hear about it now through a podcast, I guess. So, congratulations. This gift of yours is not given to you. We don't, as guardians, collect and go, oof, that boy right there, he's making some good soup. Let's pick him. No, it's another thing that Bahamut set beforehand. Someone that could see and understand what the guardians are doing. Something to help the mortals keep an eye on what's going on, but also give us a way to connect with them. A spirit than which the last seer died, and it seems that spirit has traveled to you. Though you may not have recognized it as a child, it's definitely something that the dream is a side effect. You can see what might have been, what outcomes might come, see what has happened around you and in the past. It's a small gift. Mechanically, if you so choose to kind of have an idea of what might be happening in the future, or have a glimpse of what could have happened, and roll a channel divinity check every night, kind of an extra thing to kind of get an idea of direction. Like to mechanically as well, if they're talking about connections, right? Kind of have the ability now to, we'll tell you more here in a second, but to choose a different subclass each morning, like to channel it through a different guardian. At this point in time, I would recommend practicing this channeling, connecting, and if you notice anyone in the cult of the one who serves the Breaker of the Seas, I would try to eliminate that cult, stop what they're doing. It's just my advice. I live outside the bounds of your mortal realm. Bear you all home. Though it will be a busy day for me. You all die.
How do I tell that somebody is a servant of the Breaker of the Sea?
Well, purple tends to be their color, but they will carry a mark somewhere on their body, like a suction cup, a tentacle.
Kill anybody with purple on them.
That might be a little excessive. Maybe purple robes claiming to serve the Breaker of the Seas, that sort of thing. But a neutral god, so you can kill whoever the crap you want to. I don't care. Just know that the more jobs you give me, the more I'm going to come visit you. It isn't always pretty. Princess doesn't like it. Not now, princess.
So the future may come to pass, and the history that I see has happened. I was born with these powers. I was guided / forced along this path to come here and be given this task of saving the world. Doesn't sit well with me that my life has been a lie this entire time to help you in your goals, even if it is for the greater good. I guess I don't have a choice.
Many have rejected their path. Many wardens in the past have not served to help Sardio and just stolen his gifts from him. Many in the past have been seers and allowed terrible things to happen, and
I'm not gonna have my family die and my friends die because I didn't do something. So reluctantly need to take up this seer position and do what I can. It's frustrating to know that my life and what I do now has been just God, guardians, whatever, just playing with my life to put me in this position. So it doesn't feel like I have a choice. I want to leave.
very well. She points in a direction. You walk that way, you'll find your way. Have you any other questions for me?
If I have questions or need help, how do I contact you?
Smiles, and Princess pulls out of her pocket a head of a raven, says it at you. Got a string on it that you can put around your neck. Blow like a whistle.
I'll just turn around and start walking in the direction that they pointed.
Walk until you finally find yourself walking into the hotel room you were in the night. Gaze outside, probably 2 hours until sunrise.
I'm gonna just sit on the edge of my bed and think about my life, and if I even care about the competition anymore. And then the sun will come through the window and hit my face, and I'll sigh and get up and go downstairs.
And as you walk down the stairs, you see the scene begin to close on this episode of A Dicey Experience. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. My name's Jason Sketch, and next time, we'll be deadly serious next time.